Hello, my name's Nancy. I'm a public education specialist with the Fort Worth Public Library under the Early Childhood Matters program. Today we're going to learn how to create your own story, the most important people in your life. And we're going to do this by just using some household items. This is a great activity for the whole family and for children ages birth to 5. Who is excited to create this great story? I know I am. All right, now before we get started, we're going to need to gather some supplies and some materials so we can create this great book about the most important people in our life. So first you're going to need any type of paper you have. It can be lined paper, white paper, colored paper, whatever paper you have, let's use that. The second items that you're going to need are Ziploc bags. Now, the sandwich size bags are perfect for this type of activity. I'm going to use 5 bags. I think 5 is good for me. It might be good for you too. So let's start with 5. You can always add to it or you can use less, whatever works for you. The next items that you're going to need are the writing materials. So you can use pens, markers, colored pencils, crayons, whatever writing material that you have in your house, let's use that. The next items you're going to need are the items to bind the book together. So I'm going to use tape. But if you want to use a stapler or a 3-hole punch and use yarn, whatever works for you. I'm going to show you what I had around my house, okay? But get creative with it. Let's see what you can come up with. All right, now the last item that you're going to need are pictures of your loved ones. I know I have so many pictures and I am so excited to make this book. Now, some of the pictures that I'm going to use are pictures of my grandma and my mom. They live so far away from me and I wish that I could see them. So I'm going to add those pictures to my book. I might also add a picture of my kids and maybe of my aunts and my uncles. But whatever pictures you have, let's use those. Who is excited? Because I know I am so excited to get started. Are you all ready? Okay, now that we've gathered all these supplies, let's think. How are we going to write a story about the most important people in our life? Well, what a great way to introduce your child to the most important people in their life by creating a picture book. Through this activity, you are teaching your child all 4 of the human developmental domains, which are so necessary for all human development. Let me show you how, because I'm sure you're wondering, what are 4 of the human developmental domains? So let's go through them one by one. Are you ready? Okay. Okay, so there is 4 human developmental domains. The first domain, so it's the social emotional. Now this activity is going to help your child build that bonding and attachment skill. It will help establish and maintain positive relationships with the loved ones, especially right now that we're so far away, or even if we're close by and we can't see each other. It's going to help them remember what their grandma looks like, or what their aunt looks like, or what their friends look like. All right? Now, number 2 is the cognitive. All right? So this activity is going to help your child use their brain to help them think, read, learn, remember, and reason, and to pay attention to the pictures and words in the picture book. So this one activity is going to help them use their brain. Now the third domain is the physical domain, and we're going to focus on the fine motor part of the physical. All right, so this activity is going to help your child with coordination between the small muscles, like those in the hands and the fingers, with the eyes. Okay, so fine motor skills involves the small muscles of the body that enable such functions like writing, grasping small objects like a pencil or marker, and then fastening or buttoning the buttons in your shirt. So for your little one, scribbles and making all those lines on paper that we just think are like nothing, it really is something. It's the start to helping them develop those fine motor skills and those pre-reading skills. All right, now the last domain, the fourth one. This is the language part. Okay, so for the language part, this activity helps your child with the 4 basic language skills, which are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Now let's not confuse these with the 4 domains. These are just part of the language skills, and there's the 4. Let me repeat them again. It's the listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So children generally will learn these 4 skills in that following order, okay? So let's break it down. So let's talk about the listening part, okay? So when people are learning a new language, they first hear it spoken. It's so important that when we're working with your little ones that it's okay to speak to them in different languages. If you know a different language, let's teach it to them. The more languages that we can store in their little brains, the better. So the second skill is the speaking. So eventually, they will try to repeat what they hear. So children will repeat words that we say. Sometimes words we don't want them to hear, but they're hearing them, and that's okay. They hear those words and they will repeat. It is so important to expose children to so many words. The more words that we can put into their little bank, the better. So then the third skill is the reading. So this comes a little bit later. And so that you see that the spoken language depicted symbolically into print, it is so important, and it also helps them with the environmental print, like the M for McDonald's, you know, those golden arches. Children know, they might not know how to read, but they know we say McDonald's and they just memorize that. So it is so important for them. Now the last skill is the writing. So finally, they reproduce those symbols onto paper. So this is why we are encouraging all those scribbling and making all those lines. It is so important for them. So as you are thinking about your little one and all that information that I just gave you, if you feel that you think your child is just not there yet, it's okay. Reach out to us if you don't really feel 100% sure that your child is developing these skills, because we have so many resources that we can help you and your child. At the end of this video, I will list the Help Me Grow app with information and the website information for each of the milestones for your child. And I will also be putting in there our email address where you can just contact us directly. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Do you think that your child will love looking at pictures and watching the bookmaking process? Making books with your children can range from super easy or super challenging. You will find so many opportunities to create a canvas for great stories. Below is such an easy Ziploc bag picture book that will help you and your child learn who the most important people are in their lives. In this time of this COVID-19 and we are stuck indoors, what a great opportunity to introduce and not to forget what our loved ones look like. But most importantly, have fun with the process. It's not about what the end result looks like. It's the process that you and your child are learning together. Have fun with it. If you don't have a lot of pictures, it's okay. I know that I still want to be able to share with my children what their great, 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 great ancestors look like. So, what a great opportunity that we have here in Fort Worth in the Central Library. Now, downstairs of the Central Library, you will find our genealogy department. It is amazing. You can look up and get so much help with trying to find out where you came from, where your great-great-grandparents came from. You can find so many different resources. But we're kind of stuck indoors, right? But did you know that with the Fort Worth Public Library, we have an online database with our genealogy department where you can find and access all this information straight from your home. All you need to do is have your library card and you can get access to Ancestry online. What a great opportunity that you can have once you're done making this book, that you can go in there with your child and look up where some of your family members came from. Now, if you're still a little unclear on how to access that information, you can visit us during our virtual hours where we will be going through and step by step helping patrons figure out how to get into our database and how to access the genealogy department and all the great resources. I will link the email below, and you can go ahead and email us, and we will email you a link on how to join us on our virtual hours. Okay, so the first step is we're going to take our Ziploc bags and we're going to stack them up nicely, just like this. Now, we want to leave the part that opens available. So we're not going to close this side. We are going to tape this side, the bottom half of the bags. Okay, so we're just going to take them like this, and we're just going to fold them up about 1 inch or 2. Okay, so we're just going to fold them just like that. Then you're going to take some tape and you're going to tape them down. All right. I've cut a couple of strips already of tape to show you all. You're going to flip it around. I'm going to take some more tape. Just like that. You want it nice and secure so the book doesn't want to decide to open. So we are going to put extra pieces just like that. Remember, it's not how it looks right now. It's the process. Now I'm going to put another one right on this edge here. And I'm going to carefully pick this up, turn it around, and then seal it again. Just like that. So that's sealed it tight. Now, if you see, we've got these funky edges hanging off. I'm going to take some scissors and carefully cut just a little bit, not too much, off the edges. Now be careful, you don't want to cut too close to where the bags are because then it's not going to seal it, all right? Now I don't really like this gray tape and I've got colorful tape, so I'm just going to use some of my colorful tape and just kind of decorate my book. If you don't have decorative tape and you're okay with the gray or whatever other color you have, that's great too. So I'm just going to put just a strip here just to make it fun. Just like so. And then I'm going to just cut the end again because we've got a little bit hanging off on the side. Oops, there goes the tape. Okay, perfect. All right, so we're all done with sealing it. So what do we think is going to come next? All right, so now that we have secured the bags together, we've taped them. I've added some nice tape here to make it look a little bit more prettier. Now, before we get started on inserting the pictures, and that's why we left this side of the bag open, because we can put the pictures and what we're going to write about our loved ones in here and then seal it closed. Why do you think that for a child who is, let's say, 3 months, 12 months, 24 months, even 18 months, why would we use a plastic Ziploc bag? Well, yes, one good reason is that a child puts books and stuff in their mouth all the time. So with this type of book, it won't get ruined if the child decides to put it in their mouth. But another great activity that this book actually does for your little one is, as they get older and they see you opening and closing this and adding different pictures, they themselves will try to use their small muscles, their fine motor skills, to open this up. So that's another great reason why we like to use the Ziploc bags with our little ones. So now let's get started on writing what we're going to say about our loved ones. So I'm going to put the book to the side, and I'm going to grab my paper, I'm going to grab my pictures, and we are going to just write down just a little bit about who we have in our pictures. All right? Now, I've already written some for my other pictures, but I'm going to write this one, and we're going to write it together. So this is a picture of my mom and my sister. So on my piece of paper, what I would write is, this is my mom and this is my sister. Or I could write, this is my mom and my sister at the park, being silly. Whatever you choose to write, but write something that is simple enough that you can read to your little one. So for my book, I'm going to write, this is my mom and my sister. So you see, this is what I wrote. This is my mom and my sister. And I even drew a little heart because I love them so much and I miss them right now that we are so far apart. So once you have your picture and what you wrote, now we're going to add it to our book. Okay, so here's the picture of my mom and my sister. I'm just going to put that right in there. Okay, and then I'm going to also put my paper of what I wrote about them. And I'm also going to put that in there. And then I'm going to seal it. All right, so let's continue on with making the rest. So we're going to insert them, all right? All right, so while I'm finishing mine, why don't you go ahead and finish yours? Okay, so I've secured all my pictures and what I wrote in each bag. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I left the first bag with no picture, no writing. Why do you think I did that? You are correct. Every book needs to have a title. It has to have a title. It has to have who created the book, and it needs to have something fun on it, right? So here is what we're going to do. Together, we are going to write the title of my book. So remember, we talked about it at the beginning. We talked about this book is about the most important people in my life. So that's what I'm going to write. The most important people in my life. And I'm going to do a couple of hearts. I love hearts. I love my family. I miss them so much. Okay, so now that we've gotten that, oh, you're right. I forgot to write who the author was. So who was the author? Oh, Yeah, you're right. Silly me. That was me. I wrote my own story. So this is by Nancy. That's me. Okay. So now I'm going to put this piece of paper, which I'm going to call my title, put it right there. We're going to secure it. All right. Now let's read this story together. All right, let's read this together. Will you help me? Okay. The most important people in my life by Nancy. That's me. This is my mom and my sister. There they are. My sister was being silly. My grandpa Elias and my great-grandmother Maria. I miss her so much. My brother Pedro and my nephew Ray. I miss my nephew. And when I think of him, I think of the sun and birds, and I think of rainbows. Oh, I miss the rainbows. I'll have to go back and add a rainbow for him. My grandma Flora. Oh, I miss her cooking. She cooks some stuff that is just so yummy. And I drew some hearts for her as well because I love her. All right. Thank you for helping me with my story. Now, don't forget, every book needs to have a spine. We did that here. It has to have a title page. So this is the front cover. And it has a back cover, right? All right, so we are all done with this picture book. I have a question for you. So now that we've done this activity for your little one, so this is going to be for a child that's under 3. How can we make this activity more challenging? How can we make this activity, this book, for a child, let's say, who's 3 to 5 years old? How can we make it for them? You're right. Let's make a picture book out of a paper bag. This picture book would be ideal for that type of child. Now, all children do not develop at the same level. So if you think that your child is not at this level, it's okay to continue working with them. Now remember, when you're reading this book, this one, to your little one, remember that babies can't see far away, which is why we're using photos. Also, it teaches children as they get older that they can read from left to right and how to turn those pages. So what a great activity we have built and made for your little one, that we're going to teach them all those skills. We're going to teach them the skills on how to turn the page. We're going to show them how to read left to right. Great job. Now, let's get started creating our paper bag book. All right, so now we're going to make this picture book a little bit more challenging. And so we're going to make this out of paper bags. So what you're going to do is we have regular size lunch bags, normally what you would pack your little one for lunch to take to school. And if you notice, they have this flat part, and then they have the flat part, okay? So when we want to stack them together, we're going to alternate them. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this side that flaps open and lay it down. Then we're going to take the next bag, and we're not going to use this flap side over. We're going to turn that around and place it like that, okay? And you're just going to alternate that pattern. So we're going to use this facing up, and then the one that's not, we're going to put that one down, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to fold all the bags that you have, you're going to fold it together, okay? Just like so. And now what you want to do is you want to punch 2 holes using your hole punch. So the next book that we are going to make is a paper bag picture book. So what you'll need is a paper bag, and I'm going to use about 4 paper bags. You're going to need a hole punch, you'll need some ribbon, or you'll need some string, And of course, you're going to need some pictures and some tape. All right. So if you want to use this type of materials, you can, or you can just use tape to secure the book together. All right, so let's get started. So we're gonna just punch 2 holes, all right? So we're gonna punch one here and one there. Okay, now that we've punched holes through all the bags, now if it's too thick and you just need to do one at a time, that will be fine. Okay, so then once you've got that done, then you need to take your ribbon or your string, whatever you have, and cut about 10 to 12 inches. That should be long enough, okay? Okay, so then you're gonna wanna take your ribbon or your string and you're going to, from the bottom through, you're going to lace it through each of the pages, okay? Then you should have the 2 ends, and then we're just going to, I cut way too much string, so I'm just gonna cut a little bit down. Then we're just going to tie this into a bow. Just like that, and we'll do it one more time just to secure it. There we go. Ready. All right. We are all set to start adding to our pages. Okay, so a quick suggestion. You can also secure, instead of using a 3-hole punch and ribbon, you can also staple right here to bind it, and then maybe put some tape so that when your little one is flipping through it, the staple won't actually poke them. So that's another thought that you can do. So now that we've got our book secured, now this front part, what do we call the front of a book? The front cover. So we have the spine and the front cover. Now on the front cover, what goes on here? Ah, you're right, the title. So just like we did with our other book, this one is going to have a title. The most important people in my life. Yes, I won't forget. I need the author. That's me, Nancy. The Most Important People in My Life by Nancy. All right, so we have our front cover. That's our title page. Now inside the next page, you need to add your pictures. So I've got a picture here of my boys. Well, 2 of my boys. All right, so now you can secure this with glue or you can secure it with tape. All right, now don't forget, you also have to write a little something about who or what they're doing, just so we can learn about them. All right, I will start on mine. Now you start on yours. Okay. Well, let's see if we're all done. I know I'm done with my book. So let's just make sure we did everything. Okay? So we binded the book. We did the 2-hole punch. Then we looped through the ribbon and then we made this pretty bow. Okay, so that secured the spine. All right. And then after that, then we taped. Oh, you're right. We didn't do tape yet. We did the title. Yes, we did the title. The Most Important People in My Life. Okay, so then we did the tape, right? So then we did pictures and then we wrote a little bit something. Okay, so then after we were done putting all of that in there, we're all done, right? Okay, so let's read mine. The Most Important People in My Life by Nancy. my boys. These are my boys. I'm missing one. Me and my sister. So this is me, this is my sister. And I put a heart. I love her so much and I miss her. These are just some of my cousins. I have a big family, but I love this picture of my cousins. This is Charisse and this is Marco. But I also wanted to include my pets because I feel like they're part of my family. And even though it's been such a long time since I had them and they're with my family back home, I still wanted to include them in here so that my children could see them. So this is my dog Spot and this is my cat Tigger. And if you notice, this time I used both sides of my book, which is okay to do. And then this is my great Grandma Aurora. I miss her and I love her, so I did another heart. Now, another great thing about this book is that it has these great compartments where you can add more pictures. So this is my great Grandma Aurora. And this is my Grandma Flora's mom. So this is my grandma and this is my great grandma. This is her daughter. This is her mom. Confusing, right? But yep, that's my Grandma Flora and that's her mom, Aurora. So I'll save that in here. What a perfect little place to put that. The end. All done. All right, so we had a front cover, we have a spine, and we had the back cover. What a great activity. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. If you decide to create one of these activities, please share with us if you decide to do a Ziploc bag picture book or you decide to do a paper bag picture book. Share with us. You can share with us on our Facebook or Instagram page. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel where you're going to find all kinds of activities and different videos. Thank you for watching. Till next time, bye.